that she was the first Indian American woman elected to such a high office. And she kind of brushed the issue aside and said, well, you know, that's great, my family's happy and I'm happy for the people that are happy for me, but I want to concentrate on South Carolina. Now, politically, I know why she did that. But as an Indian American, I wish she would have at least acknowledged it a little bit more than she did. Now, that said, I do believe that she did acknowledge her heritage a bit more in those same interviews done on CNN and a few of these other cable networks. And it makes me think whether she felt freer to do that on these cable networks where you can maybe voice more of your opinion because you know the constituency is sort of politically savvy. But in the mainstream media, on broadcast networks like the Today Show, she downplayed it a little bit more. You know, it is significant, it is important, and the fact is when you get to that office, it gives you some room to be able to be proud of that heritage. And I thought she could have done more.
It is significant because every other Indian American who ran for the congressional seat, I am sorry, they all lost. I don't know what the reason was, but I think they're not ready yet. But I'm happy about one thing. The first rung of a successful ladder is a failure. The first stage is a failure. So now everybody coming behind them can understand what it will take to win one of these.
The gumption just to run is really the big thing here. You know, not many of us can get out and be in the public eye and know the kind of toll it takes on your personal life, on your work life, on your finances. So doing that, having the ability to do that is huge. Now, you brought an interesting point. You said the candidates may not have been ready. I actually think it may have been the constituency that wasn't ready. You know, I've been reading some of these articles, and there was one.
Always remember, customer is always right. Voter is always right.
Well, I don't know. I mean, how would you react to something like this? You know, in Kansas, this is one of the races where we had American candidate Raj Goyal running. And the fact is, Mike Pompeo, who was his adversary in this election, put up signs, and the signs said, "True Americans vote for Pompeo," or "Vote American, vote Pompeo." Now, that tells you that there is an undercurrent there of people saying that voting for Raj Goyal is simply un-American, or that he's somehow not American because he is, in fact, of Indian American origin. I don't know if that's such a healthy sentiment, but if it exists in the constituency, then it's a little bit more obvious why these candidates did not do as well as we were hoping.
Sometimes it takes time to make sure that that gap is closed. But I must say, I'm very proud of them that they ran. Indian Americans really supported them, raised a lot of money for them. And yeah, it'll be a gain for the next time. We sincerely hope. And you know, one of the things, most of them were Democrats. That was, I believe, one of the other reasons they lost. None of them tried to be a Republican except Nikki Haley.
Well, you've got the two most prominent Indian Americans in politics. Bobby Jindal is a Republican. Nikki Haley is a Republican.
Yeah.
So I think maybe we resonate stronger on that side. But I also think that, you know, they are in the states where being a Republican helped them to get elected.
I guess the biggest disappointment was to Ayali. You know, they're the ones who developed these candidates, and Ayali, for whatever reason, decided they want to be totally Democrat. So they raised all these Democratic cubs. Unfortunately, they didn't win. I think maybe they should go back to their founding principles of either Democrat or Republicans is all right as long as we get representation.
I think a lot of the Indian Americans that live here are socially progressive but fiscally conservative.
Yeah.
And that lands us in a difficult place to be. Do you side with the Republicans for their fiscal conservatism, or do you side with the Democrats for their social progressive attitudes? So it'll be interesting to see whether or not the Tea Party picks up a lot of Indian American voters. We actually now total 2.8 million Indian American voters. That seems like a small number, but the fact is we are rising in number.
That's a large number.
And we are paying attention and we are participating in the political process. So I think it's a matter of time. I think in 2012 and in the following few elections, the Indian contingency, the Indian American contingency, is going to be one to be reckoned with. 2012 is around the corner. You're hearing Sarah Palin talk about this. You're hearing which Republican candidates might be on the ticket in 2012. And I thought, what if the President Obama, way back when he had this decision choice, had chosen Hillary Clinton to be his vice president and Joe Biden to be the Secretary of State, because I think that would have made a difference. I think it would have made a difference in this election.
You know, that's what President Bush said, that, you know, he was thinking of not running with Cheney in 2004, and he was going to pick another person. Unfortunately, he didn't take it.
I really think it would have made a difference, and I'm going to be now really interested to see whether he makes that adjustment in his re-election bid, because I think he has to. I think Joe Biden really hasn't contributed much in terms of boosting his administration. He's there, he's on the sidelines, he's a very smart man, but I think they need some more star power, and Hillary Clinton, she brings it.
You know, President Bush probably helped him by writing that in the book. But one thing you got to admire, for all of us, this election cycle is over, where we heard we were not doing good. The whole country's going to the dogs. I mean, all of that negative speak from the last few weeks over, folks. Now, from here on, it'll be all positive, and that's what we look forward to along with you.
I will be happy to see the negative ads go away, because it was just, you couldn't turn the TV on without being bombarded, one side, the other side. So, you know, I wish they would come out with a law to just ban negative ads. That would be the law I would vote for.
Those are some of the laws in England and in India. The politics starts only for 4-week season. You know, just like NFL is only in the winter, they should have this 4-week season. After that, it's all over. But that's for another day. Moving on, folks, I want to tell you about a fish called tilapia. Have you ever heard of it?
I have. In fact, it's a very popular fish because it's not a very expensive fish, and it's supposed to be quite good in just about any kind of recipe. It's not very fishy.
It's like a tofu fish. It has no color. It has no taste. It adopts any kind of a spice you put on it. It's very versatile. So almost